Yeah. Today's practice, team was sluggish. So first two-a-day after the end of week one, morning practice, not defiant but sluggish, and the realization that there's 19 more days until we play and they're in two-a-days looked to me like it had an effect on them. Execution was about the same. We just played slower this morning. So that was the quick summary.
Any other impressions after the scrimmage?
I think our team is more athletic and deeper than what I've noticed. Just more players playing faster, capability-wise, than what I've seen. We have enough running backs. We have enough receivers. I like our quarterbacks, and so the skill players, in particular, offensively, the depth is what showed up to me. I think our kicking game is improving, and defensively, the execution is just getting better and better.
Bronco, Robert and I didn't seem too pleased with the performance of the offensive line in particular today. Will you comment on the offensive line?
Yeah, the offensive line, usually there's a direct correlation between the bigger and more weight you're carrying and the fatigue, and then the reality of there's still 19 more days till we play and they're in two-a-days. So I think it took its biggest toll on them in terms of not being as physical, not being as sharp, not hustling to the ball and pushing the tempo as quickly as we had been. So I think that's where it showed up the most, which then kind of affected the outcome of just the entire day.
Any update on Edward Fusi at this point?
3 of the 4 tests taken. So one more test, and then hopefully we'll have him out soon. And I think that test was scheduled for today.
You brought in a lot of new offensive linemen, of course. Have they shown what you hoped to get from them to this point?
2 in particular, Brandon Kersley and DeAndre Wesley. Those 2, I think, are head and shoulders above the rest in terms of performance to this point. Really, I'm also encouraged by Thomas Schoaf, a freshman. If he was heavier at this point, but he's athletic, he's tough, and he's really doing a nice job. So, of the ones we brought in, if I were to name a top 3 after 1 week of camp, those would be the top 3.
You like JUCOs to come in ready, obviously. Where are Durant and Carter for you right now?
So they're competing, just haven't maybe outpaced the existing competition here. We did bring some in for competition and some in for depth, and so right now that's kind of where they are.
Thoughts on Taron Houck today?
Taron Houck is from kind of being an academic risk in the spring and having an off and on spring, here a day, not there a day, etc., more consistent and a better receiver at kind of the tight endish spot that we're calling it, similar to what maybe Brett Thompson is like. And so he's emerging and doing a nice job.
How do you manage the depth that you have at receiver right now with Mitch and Ross at the 2 spot?
It doesn't take that much because they can only play so many plays, and we'll probably have to play at least 5, maybe 6, to get the volume or to handle the volume of plays with the tempo, and I think we have enough players. So basically our strategy is we won't take a guy out unless he's not performing full speed, and so they're really setting how long they'll stay in right now. If they can go 6, 7, or 8 plays full speed, great. If they can only go 3, then they're controlling how fast they come off the field.
How would you assess recent Blue Zone performance, last couple of seasons I'm talking about, and then in turn, how much attention has it gotten from you and Robert going forward?
When Robert was here before, we were dynamic in the Blue Zone, very hard to stop. Defensively, last year we led the nation in Blue Zone. We realized how that leads to scoring, and so we practice it. We start each day after a few individual periods with Blue Zone, so it'll remain like that, I think, because both of us feel passionate about how that could affect our season.
After assessing the film, how did the DB's secondary do the other day?
They're one player that is battling really, really hard and emerging is Dallin Levitt. As a true freshman, his expectations for playing time and his expectations for himself are very high. It would be like maybe you were an existing junior in the program expecting to have that role. And so he had a really strong day. We love Rob Daniels as well at corner. So those 2 have really done a nice job. Mike Haig is ahead of schedule, even though he didn't play in the scrimmage, and Sky Pove. So 2 players we weren't sure whether they'd be back or how long. I think we're going to get both of them back, which would be great. Other than that, I think more depth still. I think Rob Daniel could possibly start at boundary corner. However, if he could also spell Jordan Johnson at field corner, I think, that's a big help.
Coach Howell likened Dallin Levitt to Austin Collie relative to attitude, confidence, knowledge.
That's a great analogy. Different body type, but very similar demeanor.
Has Has Dallin Levitt or Robertson Daniel kind of emerged as that potential starting boundary?
If we were to say today, it'd be Rob Daniel. Dallin then would be either the next guy in or possibly the nickel. So if there is a difference, it's not much. Rob has a little bit better top end speed would be maybe the only difference at this point.
How are you handling Spencer Hadley in camp right now?
Man, as soon as he has a hamstring, and so it's really controlled by that more than anything. And same with Kyle. I think Kyle will possibly be back on Thursday. That looks like kind of the date where he's doing more and more. A few more hamstrings showing up in camp than what we've had before, and so just kind of wait and see with Spencer. He's anxious to get back. We're anxious to have him back, but that's controlling it.
Worries on him at all, or is
No.
it just kind of mild?
No worries.
With how much attention Van Noy gets as far as the All-American honors and recognition, how important is it to have Spencer as far as on that outside?
Oh, well, based on the NFL traffic coming in already, they love Spencer by how hard he plays and how productive he is. And so if Kyle is ranked here, Spencer's not far behind him. Certainly the accolades and attention are much different, but there's a lot of folks that really like Spencer.
When you're out recruiting, Coach, how big of a deal do you make of the spirit, honor, and tradition?
A lot. It only took a few days when I was named the head coach to realize that's what it is. And I don't think that it would be fair to any recruit coming here to not make a big deal about it. And the spiritual part, again, it's a faith-based institution with a very clear set of values. And so, man, I think it's just right to tell them what it's going to be like.
And how is it received?
It's really good. Just another, we just had a great recruiting weekend, actually, with young men, not members of the church that are coming, I would say, in large part because of that. And their parents love it. And for the socially conservative kids out there, there's plenty that are looking for a different option. And I think we fit that.
Do they have any particular questions, say more on one aspect of it than the other?
Not necessarily. Very little doctrine. Usually the question is, do I have to be Mormon to come to BYU? So that's an easy question. And then they want to know what the curriculum is like. But almost every family is so impressed by how clean the campus is, then how friendly the students are, the lack of profanity that they hear, and the different environment. And so parents usually are sold before the prospect.
When it comes to recruiting, is differentiation among your strongest assets?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have a very specific and unique, I would say the only unique place in the market like we have. And so to diminish that, I don't think would make much sense. So we highlighted it every way possible.
Have you highlighted it even more as time has gone by?
I think so, for the simple fact that, man, when you have the right young people coming that actually want to be here and fit and belong here, the program just goes so much faster, and the energy and or lack of distractions for those that maybe I didn't evaluate correctly or misevaluated in some capacity, that just slows everything down, and it's not as much fun.
What was your reaction to Ziggy's NFL debut?
Yeah, we showed it in the team meeting, and the players went crazy. And I think just right after it happened, we were having a Thursday's Hero celebration, and my secretary, Carrie, had it on her phone and showed me. And it just, I was happy he got an interception for a touchdown, but it didn't surprise me he had the oxygen going already. I mean, our team knew that might be his last play of the game because takes him a while to kind of get in shape. So we were laughing about that.
You brought up your great recruiting weekend. How much does your relationship with ESPN have to do with the recruiting that you're doing?
It's huge. So the easy statistic is of the 124 or now 25 Division I programs, only 8, we're the 8th most viewed team in the country. And that's national audiences, which are 100+ million homes. That's excluding BYU TV. I mean, we're being seen everywhere. And the kids that are coming are from everywhere. And it's really good. All right, thanks.